Ladies and gentlemen, the cinema industry is teetering on the edge of uncertainty as the clock ticks down for SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP to finalize their negotiations. The stakes are incredibly high as failure to reach a deal will result in Hollywood actors joining forces with the Writers' Union in a strike that could send shockwaves throughout the entertainment realm. This looming deadline has cast a shadow of unease over studio executives as the absence of a SAG agreement by tomorrow would bring the industry to a screeching halt. Major blockbuster productions like Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 2, which I'm planning to see after tomorrow. Part 1 I'm planning to see after tomorrow. Part 2, well, that's going to be abruptly halted, leaving fans eagerly awaiting the next installment. The impact of the SAG union not reaching a deal would also ripple further through the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with numerous films like Blade and TV shows currently in production being compelled to postpone their schedules. Streaming networks, faced with a dearth of new content, would scramble to acquire independent films and seek out international markets in a quest to maybe find the next phenomenon like Squid Game in hopes of generating billions in viewership, despite the fact that the SAG union could potentially go on strike. And you know what? I think it's gonna happen. Like legit. It's the only way studio executives are gonna, and unions are gonna reach a deal faster. Because if the industry is on halt, then it's doomed. Production ceases, and the tension in the air will be palpable as industry insiders miss out on content. So now they're going to have to hold their breath, acutely aware that the outcome of these negotiations will shape the immediate future of the cinema landscape. This impending strike threat underscores the immense power and influence wielded by these unions as we anxiously await the resolution. The fate of blockbuster franchises, the livelihood of actors, and the streaming landscape itself hang in the balance. To put it shortly, tomorrow is a very critical day. Depending on when you're listening to this podcast, a deal could be made today before the deadline. Speaking of deadline, I want to just quickly summarize an article by a news outlet called Deadline. Okay, I swear, guys, I never intended this to be a pun. I already made a Superman one, so I didn't want to make it. Okay, I'm sorry, okay? I just like to cite our friends over at Deadline as a source, because they're like official. So anyway, I am not going to read the whole article. I am just going to paraphrase it. But it's an anxious read nonetheless. In an ongoing development, the Actors Union has decided to extend the contract negotiations, signaling the gravity of the situation, as a potential strike looms on the horizon tomorrow. The decision to prolong the discussions reflects the high stakes involved and the parties' commitment to reaching a favorable agreement. By granting more time, and by the way, there was actually a extension to the deadline, and now that ends tomorrow. That's why this is a big deal. I'm not just recording this with, the strikes being delayed. Now it's gonna happen. It might happen tomorrow. It could. So, by granting more time, both the union and the other party involved aim to explore all possible avenues for resolving their disputes and averting a potentially disruptive strike. The extension underscores the significance of these negotiations and shaping the future working conditions and terms for the actors involved. With each passing day, the tension builds as the outcome of the talks holds the key to determining whether a strike will be averted or become an imminent reality. Alright, so this is just me paraphrasing Deadline's coverage. I am now going to be sharing my thoughts and insights. And as if you can't tell already, I am pretty anxious. I'm going to be real with you guys. I am not very thrilled with all this happening. That being said, I shouldn't even have to say it. I am hoping for a positive outcome that enables the cinema industry to thrive. It is a time of uncertainty, but this deal that is going to be finalized tomorrow is also serving as a reminder of the immense power of collective bargaining and the impact this strike can have on an entire industry. Guys, we are talking the Hollywood industry, which makes up more than half of the mainstream content. My thoughts are consumed by the livelihoods of countless individuals and the intricate web of production that sustains the entertainment ecosystem. Without actors, the production ceases to continue. Period. And as a film production gets terminated, so do the livelihoods of other set workers. From cinematographers to production designers, makeup artists to set builders, their jobs and creative endeavors would face an abrupt standstill. And as a result, those people will lose their mortgages and have to either break their union contract, losing their umbrella of exclusive legal protection, or make ends meet clearing tables until the strike is over. Furthermore, the outcome of these negotiations possess the power to determine people's future, as well as the vibrancy and vitality of the entire production ecosystem. It's scary and apocalyptic, and shameful to some extent as well. Anyway, what are your thoughts on this very intense deadline for the SAG union to finalize a deal tomorrow? If you're listening to this later on, well, we know the outcome. But right now, at the time of this recording, I am sitting on this chair, just contemplating whether or not they're going to reach a deal tomorrow. But, the outcome of that deal, well, it has already passed if you listen to this later. But if not, well, maybe, you can think with me. Do you think that anyone is going to be affected by tomorrow's outcome? Where do you stand amidst all of this union striking chaos? I mean, let's face it, we had the Writers Guild go on strike. Now we're having the SAG union go on strike. So unions are at a clash with studio executives all around. Anyway, whatever your thoughts are, share them with me in the comment section below, or reach out to us through our Twitter inbox at Cinema Courtroom. The links can be found in the description below.